very excited to be joined in studio. We have the youngest professional boxer ever signed by Top Rank Leroy. He's already blown through 2 opponents like it ain't no thing. Made his debut in October and has already gotten another win in November. He's coming up again on January 11th. It is Xander Zayas joining us here from Sunrise, Florida. Xander, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it. We've gotten to do this a couple times at your gym, but it's good to get you finally here in studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, thank you guys for the opportunity of having me in the studio. It's not my first time, with you.
Yeah.
But it's my first time with Leroy and Tony
we're
in the
learning.
studio.
We're doing the old comparisons. His manager of the year, a candidate. Now, who is dubbing you, Peter? Peter Kahn, a friend of the show. Who is dubbing you possible manager of the year? Who is this nominee?
Boxing Writers Association of America.
That's pretty good, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Is this the first time you've been up for it?
First time I've been up for it.
That's pretty cool. When do you find out if you've won?
So I think January 17th, they're going to announce the winner. And then they have a banquet every year. They have a dinner. Usually it's been in New York, but I heard this year they might do it in May around Canelo fight.
Oh, wow.
So it's, what makes it special is that the writers pick it, and the writers nominate the managers. And, they have fight of the year, fighter of the year, promoter of the year, trainer of the year, knockout of the year. So it's
It's like the boxing awards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
What I'm trying to think, what's the best place to fight? I know New York or Vegas.
I mean, look, we just had a fighter that's part of our team in our camp that I manage, George Kambosos Jr., just fought at Madison Square Garden.
He's Australian. I love the Australians.
Yeah.
Xander was there with us to support him. I mean, there's nothing like fighting at Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's the mecca of boxing. But, I mean, Las Vegas is Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the richest boxing history, I think, of the modern era. Nothing's bigger than a
I
fight in
remember going
Vegas.
to a fight. You ever been to a fight out there when it was outdoors?
I've had a fight outdoors at Caesars.
Oh, it's so hot. It is so hot. Everybody in suit. It's hot.
So, Xander, you're coming up on January 11th. You're fighting in Atlantic City on ESPN Plus. It's been really cool. One of the things that's been cool with this professional career of yours is there's so many new opportunities in boxing with the streaming and whatnot that we're getting to see your career basically from the start, and that's a real beauty. So you're on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
You're like getting blown out on like the highlight reel knockouts that you're putting on. That's got to blow your mind. Like from such an early age, you're getting this kind of exposure early on.
I just try to stay focused every time I step into the ring. I don't really pay attention to the cameras or to where I look. I just try to stay focused on my opponent and do my job and get in and out the ring with a victory.
Yeah, but it's still a pretty great thing to know that you're getting the start of your career and people are going to know you kind of from the beginning. Like it's a pretty crazy. Like when we first talked about like this grand picture of things. Has it been cool kind of seeing it all start to kind of come to fruition?
Yeah, it kind of like everything started to come together now. My fan base have grown. A lot. From my first fight, I was I think 8,000 followers. Now I'm at 14-something K. So it's grown a lot because of all the exposure that I'm getting, and I feel blessed and great to have the type of fan base that I have right now.
Has it been easier than you thought it would be? Has it all kind of come out to the same game plan that you thought it would be? Because you've gotten 2 quick knockouts early on, and I know you put in that hard training and to go and execute these types of things. But has that kind of gone all according to plan? Do you want to get some rounds under your belt, or do you like the fact that you're going and obliterating these fools?
So, talking about training camp, I mean it's the same thing. You gotta work hard in every training camp that every fight that you go into, you gotta work hard in the training camp. So I'm having great training camp with great people around me. I got a great team. But during the fights, I feel that if I have the opportunity in front of me, I think I have to take it, I have took it the first 2 fights. Let's see what January 11th comes to. If I see the opportunity, I will take it. But if not, we'll follow the game plan and just get the victory.
Peter, how do you steer along that the idea of the early goings in a boxing career? Like you obviously saw a lot of promise in Xander so early on, and getting him to Top Rank. Like how do you go along that path? Because in boxing, it's a early start, like 16, 17 years old that he is now. It's a fragile thing to handle.
Right. So I mean, it's a great question, and first of all, we have tremendous amount of faith in the matchmakers. So, excuse me, you have Hall of Fame matchmaker Bruce Trampler, Top Rank. You have future Hall of Famer Brad Goodman. these guys have been responsible for guiding the careers of Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao. They know how to build a fighter. They know how to bring them along with the proper opponents early on. One of the toughest things to do early on is to build a fighter, because you really don't know when a guy's 1-0 or 1-1 and you don't know
right.
What do I tell you going into the first 2 fights?
He's not your friend.
He's not your friend.
This is just the beginning of
everybody is put on 8-ounce gloves. I mean, the truth of the matter is his pro debut. I mean, 17, just turned 17.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 weeks, 5 weeks before.
Yeah.
And first time he's put on 8-ounce gloves, no headgear. I don't care how many national championships he's had in Puerto Rico and the USA, how much sparring he's done with quality guys that know how to work with him. Now you're getting in against a grown man, no headgear, 8-ounce gloves, and this guy's coming to hurt you.
Yeah.
So he's just very mature, very focused. But, to your question, it's a work in progress. The matchmakers are doing their best to look. They would love for him to go 4 rounds. They tell me, like, look, if he goes 4 rounds, tell him don't sweat that. He doesn't need to knock guys out in the first round.
That's not your problem.
Right. But if
he could go 4 rounds,
right, right. But they're saying, like, if he can get the work,
right,
then it's okay. Like, don't feel the pressure to have to go in and knock a guy out within 2 minutes of all the fights. Go in, and in boxing, knockouts will come to you if you look for them. And you're looking for 1 punch at a time, it's his 2, 3, and 4 punches, and it's that 4th punch that creates that knockout.
Yeah, that's such a wild thing, because you guys were talking a little bit off air between the differences of football and boxing. And it's like you have this football system, Leroy, that you go into where it's like high school, college, then the pros, and it's such an interesting thing to kind of just jump into those deep waters right away.
Right. It would be the equivalent if you could go from high school to the pros.
Right.
Like in the body type. We don't have weight classes. So if he were to take that jump in football, you would already have to be somebody like Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, like, did it feel like a big step up, like, right away as soon as, because I know for those who don't know, like, you train in David with some absolute champions, George Kambosos, Samir Imam, like, you train with some absolute monsters. Yeah. But did it feel like a huge jump right away when you went from, all the amateur stuff and getting into the pros at such a young age?
I mean, I wouldn't say different, but it kind of was, I don't know how to say. It was kind of like surreal, yeah, because I had to actually sit down on my punches. I was fighting 8-ounce gloves, no headgear. I mean, I've been sparring grown men since I was 12, 13, but it's not the same as when you step into the ring with 8-ounce glove and no headgear.
Yeah, it's real.
You feel it. You like, oh, this is what it comes to. But once I step into the ring, I felt I mean everything went out, and I knew I was there to do my job and to get the victory.
How have you liked the pacing of this? Like, you're doing 3 fights pretty damn quick. Like, that's you did what was this, 3 fights? This is going to be 3 fights in 4 months.
Well, he's limited, so we have to take advantage. He can tell you. I mean,
I can only find 3 states. I can only find Nevada, Texas, and Jersey.
For age thing?
For age, yes. because he's 17. So they have to take advantage of the shows that they have in those states, and they
so if the shows were probably already set up long before they knew you were going to be a part of it, then you come after the fact and say, hey, I want to give me some work on one of these cards.
His pro debut, he wins just over a minute in the first round by knockout. Bob Arum, sitting there, front row ringside, says, he's on the next show, and it's like, and then literally just, that was it. And then after the second fight, again, just a little bit over a minute, he's like, we're bringing him back. So
that's got to be pretty wild, because that guy's seen a lot of boxing.
That's my Bob imitation.
Right.
Yeah. Bob Arum, Leroy, like, thinking about that, like, he's looking at it, he's got it all planned
once
up, man.
Once the top of the top says, I need to see more of you,
right,
then it's just a matter of just staying the course. That means it's just acknowledgement. Every now and then in life, you want to hear you're doing the right thing. You don't always get to hear that.
So I wanted to get your thoughts, Peter, on this, because we were talking a little bit about this yesterday. Did you see this past weekend the whole thing that went down with the Achilles on Showtime Boxing?
I mean, I thought it was remarkable.
That's like, we were talking about this yesterday, because I was saying, like, the broadcast was weird because they kept saying that there was something wrong with his shoe. And the dude had a torn Achilles, Yorioki Gamboa, when he was taking on Gervonta Davis, and went 10 extra rounds after blowing that thing out. I mean, that blows my mind.
Well, I'm sure Leroy could attest to this. I mean, of course they thought that something was wrong with his shoe, because who could fathom
Yeah.
that you could continue to perform and be competitive like with a guy like Gervonta Davis with a torn Achilles?
We had a different twist on it.
Uh-oh.
All right. The translator. The
Okay.
guy saying I can't go because of my foot. He don't know. He's not a doctor. How are you supposed to know? Oh, no, it's not your foot. You blew your Achilles. That's what doctors are for.
Right.
So by the time the translator gets it back to everybody else, it's just the foot. Meanwhile, the boxer's going, I can't go. My foot. He doesn't know. Wait, it could be the Achilles. It could be a high ankle sprain. He doesn't know. He's not the doctor.
You probably played injured a lot.
Yeah, sure. Not with that.
Right. I couldn't imagine, especially in boxing, and Xander will tell you, how you have to sit down on your punches, you have to pivot. I don't know how he kept going, and was competitive.
I really, at the beginning of the fight, when I saw him turn his foot, I thought it was his shoe, because his shoe seemed kind of like
wobbly,
unbalanced. Yeah. So I thought it was just his shoe, but I mean, my shoe comes loose a little sometimes, and I just put it back in place. But he didn't throughout the whole fight, and he was walking, and you could see that he was hurting, and it wasn't in balance.
Straight in his shoe. Yeah. His foot was screwed up.
Yeah.
But how? Like when we talk about boxing and how they're trying to protect everybody and stop the like they call fights earlier now.
Usually
right?
it's for head injuries, not Achilles.
Right. Well, okay, but that. You created.
I didn't even believe it. Like when he told Jim Gray, he's like, "Yeah, I ruptured my Achilles." I was like, "Is this like a Mike Tyson spinal thing? Like, is he lying?"
I broke my back.
I broke my back. Spinal. I'm like,
right.
And they're like, "No. He actually ruptured his Achilles.
Yes,
That's one of the toughest things I've ever seen."
And he continued. He put on a fight, and then he got some great combinations after
I know.
that. He got some great combinations in Gervonta.
One around.
Yeah,
like it was that's bananas to me, man.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was a great fight.
Well,
I enjoy it.
You're coming up on January 11th. ESPN Plus, everybody can check it out. ESPN Plus is absolutely fantastic for you want to talk about bang for your buck. I mean, it's $5 a month, and you get all these great fights. Anything that that has it been tough going through the holidays, weight cutting wise? Has it been okay?
I mean,
I think the last time that I talked to you was
17. It should be so easy.
I'm pretty sure the last time they made you weight cut through your birthday, so you didn't have any damn birthday cake, and now you got Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I mean, it's been alright. I mean, I'm 17. I cut weight easily, but I see the food and I'm like, I want to eat it. But Perfecting Athlete has me on my diet just to cut the weight, and they've been doing a great job with me, and not just with me, with every boxer that they work with, and I mean, the holidays they just been great. I don't mind them. I know it won't be the last one. It's the first one, but it won't be the last one, and at the end it's gonna be worth it.
Well, it's going to be fun watching you guys. Everybody tune in. ESPN Plus on January 11th from Atlantic City. Xander Zayas, he's going to be back in action for his third professional fight. You guys want to check out some potential local star. This one is there for you, man. Thanks for the time, man. I always enjoyed doing this.
Hey, thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank
Peter,
you
very much. Good luck getting Manager of the Year this man. I know you deserve it. It's been a hell of a year for you, and hopefully it comes through for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Most definitely.
Happy New Year, guys.
We'll get to a little